Since 1964, the Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs has been the single most important amateur auto race in the nation. This weekend, almost 600 competitors will fight for a medal in what has been called the Olympics of auto racing. This is where professional racing careers are launched. This is where legacies are born. This is the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin Verb.
Well, welcome to the SCCA Runoffs B-Spec race. Randy Popst introducing the broadcast team for this race, Mr. Dorsey Schrader and Mr. Greg Creamer. Dorsey, welcome. It's always a pleasure. Greg, you are the best. Take over and describe for us B-Spec racing, the most affordable class in SCCA National Championship competition.
Thank you very much, Randy Popes. We are looking forward to this one unfolding and getting ready to go here with the race to the B-Spec National Championship and the last event here on this second day of running at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin Verb. And looking forward to this one. Should be an entertaining race, Dorsey. B-Spec, tell you what, these guys, even on this track, drafting is going to be important.
10 cars, 7 of them are Honda Fit. So if you're not a fan of Honda Fit, then you have to either vote for and root for John Heinrichsey, who is driving a Chevrolet Sonic, or Ryan Hall, who's in a Mini Cooper, or you have to vote for Ted Saley, who is in a Mazda 2. Other than that, everybody is in a Honda Fit. We'll take you around for the Garmin lap. And you see right now as we come out of the carousel, heading for the front straightaway. This is where you'll get the checker flag right to your left there. Good long straightaway here. Get up to fourth gear, and then you've got a very fast turn one left-hander. And the sun's going to be right in their eyes this time of night. As you come out from underneath that bridge, you're blinded. There's a chicane up ahead that we used to run, but we won't be running that this race. We'll be running straight up to the keyhole, which is here in front of you. Keyhole is a 180-degree right-hand corner, but it goes downhill and tightens as you go down the hill. And that presents problems. You also see all those patches right there of different asphalt and concrete and so forth. And that breaks the grip up, the grip level. Oh, we're being passed. It's got to be white coming through. And anyway, down the long back straightaway here. If you look to your left, that Honda podium thing up there is where you get the green flag. This is turn 4. Best passing opportunity at the racetrack. You draft all the way down the long straightaway. You do a pop out, and you try to outbrake maneuver right here. This goes into the series of turns called Madness. It's self-explanatory. You come up over the top of the hill, lose grip, car gets all sideways, run down here to this corner, which is an off-camber at the exit where the car doesn't want to turn. Then you jump out from under that bridge, get airborne here for a minute, land sideways, catch that, and then head on to the jump turn. This one you really fully come off the ground with. So like I always say, whoever designed this track is an evil person. It's
mad.
A very, very
completely mad.
Tricky track. This is a really fast left-hander up here. Blind turn. You cut into that. You can't see where you're going. It's off camber at the exit again. And then you get into a very tricky diagonal braking zone for the carousel, which is a 180-degree. And it goes downhill at the exit again. Corner leading onto the front straightaway, which is where you'll get the checkered flag if you're so lucky.
And it's right there as they pass by the start stand. That was courtesy of David Daugherty, who is your pole sitter here in B-Spec. That was our Garmin Verb B-Spec lap of Mid-Ohio. And getting set to get going here, we've got a nice crowd that is on hand. And this afternoon has blossomed into an absolutely stunning
beautiful
day here. Fantastic. You can see people enjoying it and getting ready for what should be an interesting race. And by the way, when we go racing, if you have a look at the car that David Daugherty is running, it's interesting because David, of course, a multiple national champion, but to get back into some running here, he put together a deal with Tom O'Gorman, and Tom O'Gorman is running that car and has a few wins this year in the Pirelli World Challenge B-Spec category.
Right.
And on the club weekends, David Daugherty hops behind the wheel and runs it.
These are your basic Econo boxes.
Yeah.
They're the least powered cars that we sell in the United States. They're very, very much underpowered. They're economical. They get great, huge fuel mileage. But racing one of them is a tricky situation because you have no power. You are reliant upon drafting constantly. You're relying on keeping your momentum up in the corners, not scrubbing any speed. something John Heinrich is probably very, very good at. But like he said earlier on, you make one mistake in this car and you'll fall out of the realm of being able to be a winner.
Well, I was going to say, I think in the next evolution of Funk and Waggle's dictionary, they'll have under the definition of momentum will just be a picture of one of these B-Spec cars. It's that crucial for them.
And they run on top of each other. They have to.
Yeah.
So they run as a real big, tight-knit pack with no margin of error whatsoever. And when things go wrong, they go wrong in a big way.
Well, one thing we've seen it in club racing, we've seen it in the Probably World Challenge. The B-Spec races are often some of the most entertaining races because of exactly that. They may not be quick in a straight line, but they put on a great show. This is only the 4th year that this has been a class in its creation in SCCA competition. First one was 2013 when Charlie James won it in a Mini.
There were classes like it years gone by with Renault R5s and things like that, which were all of one make, but they were the same type of a car. And it was popular. I mean, for a fan entertainment standpoint, this is a good race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of stuff goes wrong. Usually.
And we've seen a couple of shots of some workers, and we want to say a big thanks to all of the volunteers that come out. This is a club, Sports Car Club of America. And all of these people, whether they're the corner workers that are trackside in harm's way dressed in their whites, or whether they start in registration or finish things up in tech, it's volunteers. There's over 500 of them here, and volunteer is the key word. It's all out of pocket. They get a lunch during the day, a dinner at night, sometimes at the party, but all of the lodging or whatever, and fuel and like, it's out of pocket. They're as passionate about this sport as anybody in a crew, anybody behind the wheel.
Their day starts very, very early, way before that sun comes up, I can tell you that. It ends very, very late. I was hanging with them till about a little past midnight last night, and they weren't done with their working yet.
Yeah, it's that kind of those kind of long days, absolutely, which is why they have about this time of the day they grab a rest on occasion.
Well, you're not kidding. They've been on their feet all day.
Yeah.
Every time something goes wrong on the racetrack, they're responsible for getting out there and addressing the situation. They are our eyes and ears as a race car driver. They tell us everything that we can't see ahead of us.
Yeah, those flags are huge information and also commands from race control. So it's a real dynamic, symbiotic relationship between the drivers, the course workers, and race control, and it's crucial. I was just subtly reminded that TV crews tend to be here pretty early and finish kind of late as well.
Yes, they do.
And as the field makes its way out in that very distinctive-looking car of the pole sitter David Daugherty makes his appearance on pit lane, let's get down to Jeff Lepper, who has won a Pro B-Spec race. The man knows of what he speaks.
I love these little Econo box cars, the B-Spec category. You talked about it before, Greg. Tom O'Gorman in that Honda Fit and David Daugherty splitting that car this season with Tom on the pro side. They won a majors victory. They got the runoffs. Now they got to get the runoffs championship. Will it be 9 championships for David Daugherty, or is it going to be 14 championships for John Heinrich? 21 national championships among those two drivers. Don't count out Chi-Ho. He's going to be the guy that I'll be watching here this weekend.
Yeah, he's very favored. People think he's going to be very quick, and he brings up a good point. The number of championships between those two drivers alone is spectacular. And when you take a look, by the way, at the graphics package on the car, Tom O'Gorman is sort of the chief instructor for the new program from SCCA called Track Night America, where during the course of the week, for just $100 or so, you can go out to tracks. There's some 23 of them around the country, and you can go out and drive your car, get some instruction, and then run from like 5 to 9 in the evening and have a great track experience, a track night in America. And the graphics package on that car is every one of those white lines is one of the 23 tracks that program runs at. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And you may think that these cars are easy to drive because they're underpowered and slow and they're in a kind of box.
Yep.
Just the opposite of that is true. They're very difficult to drive because you have to be meticulous with your car placement and your ability to keep the car's momentum up all the time, and you have to judge where and when to pass other cars because it's not. These guys will be running in a group.
Yep.
The entire race.
Absolutely, and Chi-Ho, who Jeff was talking about, qualified outside of that front row. I got to tell you a quick story here. Back in the day when David Daugherty was winning that string of championships, I was corner working earlier in the week during qualifying up at the top of turn 5, now the top of the S's. Every lap, Daugherty would come out of 4, and the car he was driving, he'd just flick it, the rear would step out, he'd get up to the top of 5, flick it, the rear would step out. It was a front drive car, so he was just pitching it. I could hear him giggling inside the car. You know, I mean, that's why we're working so close to the corners. That was how much fun he was having behind the wheel of these cars through this section of track right here. Absolutely phenomenal. And folks, if you're wondering, what do I need to do to become a worker and get that best seat in the house? There's no better seat, trust me. And you are a participant. You're involved in this. All you have to do is go to SCCA.com. There's an annual fee to become a member of the club, and you can be the next race that's at your local track you can go to for a club race and start with corner working. It's that simple. Or working in tech or working wherever you want.
This dates me terribly, but back some 50 years ago, I was that guy you're talking about. I was the guy that came to the corner workers and got a job and went out there on the track and made a career that's been a lifelong career.
That's how you do it's the passion. Absolutely. And we've talked about it already this weekend. When you've got a close battle, especially near the end of the race, and your blue flag can make a difference, you're part of that race. And, you know, now if you're a techie, and, you know, it used to be if you were a tech guy, and I mean numbers and all that, you know, you'd work in timing and scoring. Now you can get a job in tech.
Well,
it's so much digital stuff
It
now.
is. I mean, these cars, all cars of current stature are electronically controlled nowadays, and including race cars. And you really do need to be a techie to. It's not carburetors and pistons and spark plug wires and points and condenser anymore.
Exactly. It's a whole new ball game as we're showing you the starting lineup. And you see Daugherty and Ho in the front row, John Phillips in another Honda Fit. All three of those are Honda Fits. Then multiple champion John Heinrichsey in the Chevy Sonic. Fifth is Ryan Hall, and he's driving the lone Mini Cooper in the field.
Yeah, that's the most recognizable car of all of them, anyway.
Truly, yeah. And Darren Seltzer in sixth. Seventh is Rob Pekarsik. Eighth is Calvin Tam. Ninth is Ted Saley. And 10th is Jason Huppenbecker. And as always here, they will get the green, as you pointed out, Dorsey, when they get on the back straight here. That pace car will just duck off to the right, and we go racing.
You brought it up before, and we should say there's a professional division of this. Of course, Probably World Challenge, where I work at, and you call those races, has a division for the B-class car. And these guys, O'Gorman's car is the very same car. No
Absolutely.
difference.
Yeah, they are identical from Pro to, that's the spec part of B-Spec. There's absolutely no difference. And the pace car has made its way in, and now it's under control of David Daugherty on pole. Chi-Ho alongside. This is David's, by the way, 6th tire rack pole in Runoffs competition, and we go green. And he just eases ahead just a little bit. John Phillips is going to want to get up and along and right behind Daugherty here and try and force his way by that for the 07 of Chi-Ho. See if he's going to be able to get it done. And she's got that outside run, Doris.
Chi-Ho is a unknown quantity to me, but he's comes highly recommended.
Oh,
he's got second, and we've got a problem already.
That was Heinrichsey, got right into the side of John Phillips right off the go. This is the second runoffs in a row where John Heinrichsey has been involved in contact at V-Spec on the opening lap. Very rare.
Very rare indeed. And those two cars hooked together again. We saw it earlier in another race as the Fit turns across the front of the Chevrolet, nowhere to go, and you can see it climbing on board. And how much damage is done to both those cars. Probably the car sideways, none. Heinrichsey's car, on the other hand, might have sustained damage.
But what's happened now is these two, our front row, Daugherty and Chi-Ho, are gone. And if they just drive smart, don't race each other too hard right now, wait till they get to the end, it'd be very tough for that other group to catch them, I would think.
Now, if the chief steward allows bump drafting, that's one thing these guys do a lot. They bump off each other and push each other up to higher speeds. And that is at the discretion of the chief steward, whether he will allow that or not allow that. I tend to, in pro racing, not allow that because we have other cars that run that class. And the 45 is off, 4 off, and a good save.
Yeah, that was Calvin Tam out of Long Beach, California in the HPD and BF Goodrich Honda Fit. Here is the 64. Darren Seltzer, who got involved in a great race last year and just ended up outside of the podium.
All these cars running small displacement engines. The Fit's got a 1.6 liter double overhead cam 4-valve engine. That's the same engine they run in Formula F, although they tune it down in Formula F.
And you can see smart move here by that duo there, Darren Seltzer in that number 64. That's a Honda Fit, and Ryan Hall in the Mini, and they are just working right now, just trying to get a draft going and get going again. And I see Heinrichs has managed to work his way back up into 5th, and he's just going to want some help. The problem is the guy that's right behind him who would be his help is the guy that he got into it with.
He might help him in a different manner.
Exactly.
We'll see. Wasn't intentional. John Heinrichs, the ultimate pro, gentleman driver.
He truly is.
To have two contacts in a race weekend for him is probably maybe the first time ever.
Yeah, just an unfortunate deal. You can see the damage to that lower right front of that car. I don't think it's going to affect it much. The only issue is did it do some damage to the... big
impact.
Oh.
2 cars involved. The 23 got the worst of that.
Yeah, that's Jason Huppenbecker, and he got into that barrier there on the left hard.
He's done for the day. I guarantee. Well, that's the strangest thing, isn't it? I mean, he actually collected the white car. The white car did a very good job. Yeah, I don't know the number on that, or I'd tell you who it was.
Yeah, he lost it on his own.
Well, that's not too bad for the wear.
Did, yep.
He's knocked all the bumper stuff off, and that's superficial stuff. It looks like the radiator's intact.
Yeah,
I don't see fluids coming out. He might be all right.
He might have got away with it. I wonder if that other car, and this is, I'm just guessing here, maybe the 45 of Calvin Tam.
He couldn't see the number.
Yeah.
But he did a great job of reading the situation and almost got away with it.
And these 2 guys up front, I mean, we know Daugherty's record. Chiho, much newer to Runoffs competition. He was 5th last year at Daytona.
But so smooth.
Yeah, listen to some of the numbers just this year alone in the majors competition. Chiho, 10 finishes, 8 wins, 6 poles, 9 top 3s. Daugherty, 8 finishes, 6 wins, 7 poles, 8 top 3s. They have had a hugely successful majors racing season.
It doesn't cost a lot to run these cars. I mean, even in racing trim, they're probably getting 40 miles a gallon out there. And if you don't wreck the car, I mean, the cost of maintenance is negligible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can take it to the store.
It's bone stock. I mean, that's the whole, other than safety equipment. Exactly.
Yeah, you put your safety equipment in with a roll cage and your seatbelt harness, 6-part harness, fire system or fire extinguisher in there. And essentially everything underneath the car is stock.
Ryan Hall in the Mini, a little bit of rotation in the carousel. Cost him maybe half a car length or thereabouts.
This is what showroom stock used to be for probably 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Until people started doing things.
And you know what? Heinrichs and Phillips are slowly closing in on that battle for third, excuse me.
Which might help the situation to catch up the front 2.
That's exactly what they need. The more cars you line up in that train, generally, the quicker you're going to go. Heinrichs just turned to 147.5 with Phillips almost on the same time. Everybody in front of them, low 148s.
DOT tires, you can hear them all squealing, which is... that's a normal deal for this class. They don't get the real super stickies.
There went Chiho. Here is Seltzer.
Good draft going. 2-car draft. That's what you have to do. You have to get up in there tight and run real clean like that to get good laps. Both of those sets of cars are doing a great job and should be able to run down the leaders if they keep that up. But that being said, Chiho is also drafting Daugherty.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit of touch with him, but they're still pretty close. And those 2 guys are running significantly quicker. And watching them,
it's like a 3 or 4 mile per hour difference when you see 2 guys hooked up. Most of these cars are running 100 miles an hour, 101 miles an hour, but when you see 2 hooked together, 104, 105. That's a typical thing. You can bump your way 3 or 4 mile per hour up.
And that's exactly what you have to do in this class. And you have to be patient. And 1, be very precise, not hit anybody in front of you that you're drafting with. And 2, not get over anxious and try and race them.
You want to bump them and push them all the way to the point of turn in for the corner. But then you need to give them space. You need to let that car in front turn in on its own. And then you follow it and then hook back up as soon as you're off the corner again and do it again. And that'll push you to along 4 or 5 mile per hour down every straightaway over a guy that's not having somebody work with him.
Yeah, and the fast lap so far has just been turned by John Phillips in a draft at a 147.184. But all by himself, David Daugherty just turned a 147.29, and he's opened up almost a 2-second margin back to Chiho.
And that is just, you don't see that very often. That's unheard of. Because it's almost impossible to get away from someone.
Yep, and I was talking.
That's a bunch. That's what it looks like.
Chunk, yeah. I was talking with David a little bit earlier, and I said, so what's the car in B-Spec? And he said, ours. He said, we really think the Honda Fit is the right package here throughout the race. You know, you've got the Mini and we've got the Sonic of Heinrichsee, but
looks like 7/10 of the entire field agree with him.
Absolutely, absolutely. But boy, Heinrichsee and Phillips have reeled in these two, Seltzer and Hall, and this is going to be a 4-car draft for that third spot here.
Of course, that Mini is not the Cooper S. It's not the supercharged car. It's normally aspirated and down on power comparably.
But Mini it is, and it must get a great tow.
You have to run up to the inside here, but that's the wrong side to be on when they get to the top of the hill.
Yeah, and if Heinrichsee is close enough, he's going to try and follow Seltzer around. Look at the Mini. He's going to he may have made that work, Doris. What a move.
He did make it work. Oh, and Heinrichsee's inside now and leaning a little bit on the 64.
This is an aggressive John Heinrichsee, isn't it?
Well, I think it makes you. Darren Setzer got the worst of that is he got leaned on by John. I don't think you have a choice in these cars. I mean, you have to keep your momentum up, and you just, you get it in there, and whatever happens, happens.
Now, let's see what Ryan Hall can do. He's about 5 seconds or thereabouts adrift of Chi Ho, who's lost another 4/10 to David Daugherty. Boy, Daugherty's just flying consistently
it's unheard of to be able to outrun the field.
Yeah. Well, David Daugherty in Mid-Ohio.
He
just has this place figured out. Lives in Portville, Indiana, but this is a track he has spent an immense amount of time at over the years. One ton of those.
Oh, 4 wide flare.
Look at this. That's Phillips trying to pick that spot up. Seltzer going to try and work it around the outside, not give it to him here.
And he'll be okay through this corner, but it'll go away at the bottom of the hill because by the time you get down to here, you have to get single file.
And Phillips, that was brave considering he was on the outside when Heinrichsee.
You got to trust your other driver.
So he said, "Well, I'm going to have to drive it anyway."
Yeah, I mean you got to have total faith in the driver you're doing that with. Otherwise, it doesn't take anything to knock you off the outside out there.
Through Thunder Valley, but you hear mostly tire squeal because these really don't have much in terms of
thunder.
Loud. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting study here. Ryan Hall and the Mini and John Heinrichsee in the Chevy Sonic with those two Honda Fits out front.
Works for General Motors. Yeah. So he always is in a Chevy, no matter. We never see him in hardly anything else.
And when we first saw him show up and race the Chevy Sonic, he was talking about building the car, and I said, did you build it, or was this something else? He goes, yeah, Greg. He said, this is the first car I built myself from the ground up.
Yeah, and there's not a lot to it. The safety equipment is the primary work involved in converting.
He's got a long association with Phoenix.
Yeah,
and all that.
Absolutely.
And so
that's
I was wondering,
great prep shop.
And I was wondering, did they work? And he said, no, this one was done in my own garage. But like you said, there's not that much to do.
No. And most of these roll bars on these cars are bolt in. There's kits for it, pre-assembled.
This is stunning. Daugherty by himself just set fast lap of the race at a 147 flat. The margin now 3.5 seconds.
He's going to be racing in the Tech very shortly.
Yeah.
Just saying. And that has been the nemesis of more than one national runoff champion, let me tell you what.
Absolutely. One of the great moments, and I don't think Boris will be too mad at me telling this. I remember at Road Atlanta when he won one of his national championships in a showroom stock category car, and he got in the victory circle and got the interview, and he thanked his engine builder.
Wrong.
I think he may have been joking, but it was a funny moment.
Sports 2000 and Bart Wolf.
Oh, that
Bart
story.
Wolf went into the tech shed with his car and his driver's suit on, and he came out in his underwear holding a piston and a rod.
Crying.
Yeah,
it was a great feature. That was a feature you did,
Yeah,
actually.
it was a stage setup deal, but it was hilarious. And
it was
oh, so true.
Yeah, it was here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And it was the
it was here in the old shed back there.
We called it the 24th lap.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean,
back in the day,
that's an important deal, because people are spending a lot, not just money, but time.
You
personal
don't
investment.
see
you
that.
don't want somebody just.
You don't see that much
Heinrichs going
taking
third.
advantage of the rules as you used to, because these cars are so electronically controlled.
Right.
I mean, guys back then were doing things to the cylinder heads, to the the throttle body. They were cheating over there, and they were trying to do different cam profiles. All the stuff you're not supposed to do, they were trying to get away with. Nowadays, you don't need that.
No, you change the chip.
Yep.
Boy, Heinrichs got him. Heading down into the keyhole. I just saw the back of the screen. He was able to sneak through on Ryan Hall.
Hall was thinking about trying to pop to the inside.
Yeah.
Ooh, way up on two wheels there. You could hear the engine rev as the right front tire was in the air as well as the right rear.
Phillips. That will keep Phillips in the 5th spot, but Heinrichs will pick up 3rd. Hall now 4th. Seltzer sitting in 6th. And then it's Rob Pikarczyk in the 09.
Story of the race is Doherty, who is just doing the impossible. He's just running away from everyone.
Yep. That margin over 4 seconds to Chi Ho. And obviously Chi's getting the message from the pit wall and his mirrors, because
these guys are coming,
he's
right.
starting to push a little harder, and that sometimes is the absolute worst thing you can do. Because you start running wide and scrubbing the momentum, and you hear the tires chirping.
You can overdrive these cars real easily because they have no tire under them whatsoever. And if you go storming into the corner and lose grip, it's going to cost you time, and the guys around you are going to just go right by. Like I say, it would appear to be an easy class to drive in. It is anything but.
Watching what's unfolding here in this battle now that's looking like it's going to shape up for second. It could be a 5-car battle, but boy, Jeff, almost 5 seconds to the good right now is David Daugherty. He's got this thing clocked right now.
He's doing a great job behind that Honda Fit, and his teammate Tom O'Gorman, we talked about that before in the Pirelli World Challenge, doing a great job, won the last 4 races. That car leaves directly from here, gets towed by James Wilson from Black Armor Helmets, a contingency sponsor here in SCCA, to Texas, and then towed out to Mazda Race Laguna Seca next week for the season finale, where Tom has a chance to get that Pirelli World Challenge Championship. No turnaround time whatsoever to make that happen. They're trying to get something worked out with the SCCA right now. Since that engine is sealed from SCCA Pro Racing, maybe they could avoid the teardown here in the tech shed and get that sealed up and make that go till Pirelli World Challenge in 2 weeks.
I don't think he's going to get out of tech with a performance like this.
That's an interesting scenario, though.
But yeah, exactly.
That's a good point that Jeff brings up, that the pro race engines are sealed, and if you break that seal, you've got to have it recertified and everything. And it would be nice not to have to do that, but I would say forget it.
Yeah, I mean,
if he wins this race going away like he's doing, 5 seconds over the field, they're going to be looking for everything.
Well, absolutely. And these guys that are chasing him right now, they really don't care about anything going on in the Pirelli World Challenge. They want to make sure that they got beat by a legal car here in this race. And that's what I was getting back to, talking about tech. I mean, it's a crucial part of it because of the amount of money, but also personal time investment that these competitors put in. And the last thing you want is to work your heart out here, drive your heart out, and then find out that somebody won because they got cheater parts on the car. I mean, you've got to have that quality control, if you will.
Some classes are ruled much more stringent than others, and these showroom stock type classes where you're not supposed to be working or doing anything to these engines are very, very stringent. I mean, they look at everything.
Absolutely should be. You know, in the GT 1, 2, 3, I mean, that's...
You can do pretty much, it's more wide open there.
Exactly. And
there's only certain parts that come under any scrutiny whatsoever. Yeah. Most of it's open.
And if you want to, explore the limits, run one of the classes that's got a lot of mods allowed in it. Boy, this is now the battle is on as Heinrichs has caught Chi Ho with Ryan Hall, Phillips right with him. And it looks like Seltzer has dropped off a bit here. Just hasn't been able to maintain that pace. So Chi Ho is now under attack.
I'm kind of wondering how much help John Heinrichs is getting by the guys behind him. They're not really pushing each other as far as bump drafting. I haven't seen any contact between those cars. So John should be doing this all his own merit. Chi-Ho, I don't know what's happened with him. He was right up there for a while, but now he's fallen into the grasps and doesn't look to have the speed that the three behind him do.
No, not at all. He's driving at 6 seconds now from Daugherty back to Chi-Ho. And Daugherty has just consistently been running low 147s. And Heinrichsey and Ryan Hall have had a low 147, and Phillips as well, but they're not doing it every lap. And that's what the difference is with Daugherty here.
John's been around a long time. He'll know all the moves to try to make, for sure on Chi-Ho.
There's Daugherty.
That just is ridiculous to have a lead that big.
In this category, it's rare, no question. Here comes the 4-car battle for second.
Not to say that Daugherty isn't happy with that lead. I'm sure that he's
delighted.
God, I'm glad I'm not back there. Look at my buddies back there go at it.
In this scrum, Heinrichsey in the Sonic looks to the inside in the keyhole.
Popped in there pretty nice.
Chi-Ho didn't overreact to it, stayed with his line and got a decent drive out.
Halfway through the race right now, just about. All these guys drafting pretty tidy here. You think to catch Daugherty, it's not happening.
Oh, here we go.
A pop.
Yep.
And
it's 3 wide.
John had to do that. He had to defend by going on the inside of Chi-Ho.
Ooh, and Hall senses an opportunity to dive down the inside here, but it's kind of on the wrong side.
It's going to break into 2 groups of 2 in a minute. And that's what it needs to do, quite honestly, if the Mini is going to do anything.
Look at Hall. He's up on the inside now of Heinrichsey. That was sweet.
He's
and he's brought
both
Phillips
cars
with him.
He brought Phillips, and Heinrichsey drops to 4th.
That's how quick it can happen here.
That was a really good, like I said, it's going to break into 2 groups of 2. That's what those 2 guys had to do.
Yep.
To make any kind of move, they have to work together. And once one went, the other, and John's back and forth now, so he's going to have to get back up on the wheel. Now can they get by Chi-Ho? That's the Mini. That was a good move. That was a really well thought out move by those 2 cars.
Yeah, he reacted. I mean, he read this, the situation beautifully. Took advantage.
They did it for 2 turns too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were setting that up. Ooh, 43 now into turn 1 side by side. That's not going to help their cause. Watch Heinrichsey. He should get a big old toe out of that.
Yep. Chi-Ho gets a little bit of breathing room. Heinrichsey chooses to go with Hall, and that's part of the deal.
He might pop. He might still go up the inside because that definitely slowed those 2 guys up.
Yep.
Oh, he takes him out.
Ooh.
And on its side, the Mini goes. If they push him back over, he'll be fine.
Yep. Oh, man, he had such a good run going. Here's another look at it.
Actually, the 43 got into the Mini, turned the Mini, and the Mini, of course, trips up in the gravel trap. No damage done to it whatsoever, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just knock it back on its feet and let it go.
And this is one of those things that I just don't understand. Why would you turn? You know, unless you thought that he'd already cleared you.
Well, and he was probably looking at Heinrichsey and not looking at the Mini.
Well, that could be too, yeah.
Because Heinrichsey was sneaking up the inside or trying to. I thought he would do that.
Yep.
Because he had the run coming out from turn 1 after they went side by side. I didn't think he'd just let that lay. And he didn't. Come on.
Well, here's what you were talking about, getting there as many people over there as we could.
If they can get him back on his feet before the cars come, he won't lose a lap.
I bet you Ryan Hall's in there going, come on, get me over, I can go.
Absolutely.
I think there's a problem. I think that right front may have dug in a little bit, and I see one of the workers trying to dig some of that gravel out so they can get him pushed over, perhaps, unless it's broken.
Back in the days of IMSA, I remember a prototype that did that and rolled onto its side like that, and the driver pushed it over himself.
Portland.
Yeah, it was Portland.
It was at Portland. All right, they've got him over. Can he drive away? Just started it.
They'll smoke out the exhaust from the oil being run to the cylinders, and he's buried. Which will probably bring out a full course caution, possibly, and that'll stack the field, which will make things interesting.
Well, they've used...
Look at that flagger going crazy with that yellow flag.
Yep, letting them know you've got exposed workers out there.
Her arms are going to hurt.
They are, but thank goodness for those flaggers. Because that's the warning to the drivers that you've got something going on and to be careful going through that section. You don't have to stop or anything, but just be careful.
It's Chief Stewart's option to put out a caution car, go full course caution, or to try to take care of that locally. With that big a lead, though, I would tend to think it would be nice to stack the field back up.
I'm sure they would like that, but
there are certain sanctioning bodies known for that. I won't mention the name.
Exactly. And the thing is that's one of the reasons that I love these events is they tend to be a little bit more pure. People understand, hey, if it's a 10-second margin at the win, good for him. That was a great day. Celebrate that. Don't artificially pack things up.
And it's a shame they didn't get the Mini back on its wheels in time not to lose a lap. But now his day is done.
Yep.
He would have needed a caution as well as to be back on his wheels, so not just the one.
That
jumps the curb.
That would have been a story. Get him on his wheels, but he causes his own full course caution, gets to the back of the field, comes through and wins the thing.
That's what I'm talking about. In my devious little way, that's what I'm thinking.
Meanwhile, Daugherty, last time through, the margin up to 9 seconds.
Ooh, and now Heinrichsey really, really close proximity to Chi Ho. Almost made contact with him.
Yep. Well,
this isn't unusual, John Heinrichsey, to be this aggressive. I think it's the nature of the beast.
I think you're right.
Because he doesn't drive like that.
You've got to get your way through. There's Daugherty disappearing out of the bottom of the frame.
John using every inch of road out there, which you really have to do to keep the scrub factor down. Chi Ho didn't do that. Chi Ho more of a middle of the road kind of line.
All right. Well, they got Ryan Hall pulled out of the gravel.
They'll get him out of there in a minute and get that truck out of there too.
But as you said, down a lap. That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah, that ends his day.
Yeah.
Heinrichsey got a better run off of the turn, but I don't know if he's going to have enough to get by. He looks like he's tucked in the draft. Came out of the keyhole a little stronger. Yeah, there goes the Mini. He's okay.
He's out. That's good. But Heinrichsey
makes the move for the position. Ho to the inside is going to stick it up there and stay there.
Oh, don't. Yeah.
Off they come, and this will be Heinrichsey at the bottom of the hill will take that position.
Yep. I think had Ho been as aggressive as Heinrichsey has been, he could have made that.
Oh, he could have made it a lot
got back
worse.
Into it there, yeah. I wasn't thinking worse. I guess that's perspective.
It would have been.
Worse from Heinrichsey's perspective, maybe.
It would have been sooner or later.
Well, we are past halfway now by a couple laps.
And Heinrichsey right now signaling to Chi Ho, come on, let's work together. Come push me. He was in there with his hand coiled. Yep. Come on. Now that I'm by you, give me a run. Let's get it. Go to the front.
Yeah, and Chi Ho's probably wondering why.
You're a Chevy.
Yeah, you just shoved me out, or not shoved me out of the way, but you just pushed me back to third.
I think Chi Ho's car, for whatever reason,
it's just not quite there.
No, something's gone off on it a little bit. He was strong early, but he's definitely fading now. He can't even keep up with John at this point, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the others, when they're in a draft together, are into the 47s. Daugherty's in the 47s by himself every lap.
Yeah, with nobody around him.
And Chi Ho with the toe hasn't been into the 47s,
no,
so I think you're right.
He definitely fell off pace.
Boy, Daugherty by himself just turned to 147.389. His best lap of 47 flat. And that margin now, 10.5 seconds.
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a ton of time in a spec class.
Yeah, and Heinrichsey, he's got to second, but he's got no help right now unless Chi Ho can find it. Or if John Phillips, number 43, right there coming into your frame, who's shown some good speed. If he can get up here, get around Chi Ho, then maybe he can help those two guys.
You have to be so smooth with everything you do on these cars. The rate at which you turn the steering wheel alone makes a big difference.
Slow hands on
the Mini's in and done. Well, leaves a lap down.
Yeah.
Really not much you can do from that point on.
That's unfortunate because he sure was putting on a great drive. Speaking of great drives, David Daugherty. There he goes. That quick. Look at the margin here. It's just huge.
Huge.
And to Chi Ho's credit, he may not have been able to hold John off, but John is not dropping him. And this is an opportunity. I was just thinking.
Learn something from John.
That's exactly where I was going. Go to school with one of the second most winningest.
The one thing I can see John doing that Chi Ho is not doing is using more room. You watch John; he's running all the way to the two wheels being in the dirt at the exit. Watch here, turn one. He'll take it all the way out across that little road there.
Yep.
Chiho leaves a little bit on the table, and those little bits add up all the way around this course. You know, when you're talking about 13 turns, and if each one of those turns.
And it's also opening up the radiuses, so you've got less friction on tire rub and scrub.
Right, you have to use that all.
Well, we just had a shot, unfortunately, of Ryan Hall, who was so strong early going down in pit lane, and Jeff's there.
Well, Ryan Hall, Greg Creamer said it would be a great story if you got the car back up there and worked your way back to the field, but ultimately, what ended your day?
We had a good run heading into the keyhole. Got a little bump from behind from John, and I was on the inside. Things looked good, and then next thing I know, I was pit maneuvered, I think, or hit my left side, spun me to the driver's left, and around I went, or over I went. So it was a good car. We had a great car all week. We did a motor swap on Sunday as soon as we got here, and thanks to Nick Jacob, he helped me out huge. The car was fast out of the trailer. We did very minimal setup stuff, and it's just a shame that it ended early. But I thank my guys, Advanced Monograms, Bemmer Tools, Mini Cooper Racing, Carvel Tech, Hoosier, my parents, of course, my wife at home. I love you, honey. I'm good, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
The car's not that damaged. It's got a few dings and dents, but ultimately being that lap down, there's no chance today.
Yeah, it didn't even break the windshield. I mean, it just rolled up on the door.
That's a gentle roll, just up on its side.
That's as easy as you get.
Yep, exactly.
No, and that gravel trap's pretty deep there too, so it laid in there pretty nicely.
And on to the front straight we go.
Got to be running down on laps here.
Yep, completing lap 16. And
7 to go.
John Phillips is running low 147s by himself right now. And he's not too far behind Chi-Ho. And if he can get to him, Chi-Ho's found a 140. He just turned to 147.5. That's one of his best laps.
Well, he's what we were talking about before. Yep. He's got John Heinrichsey in front of him that might be teaching him a good, little bit different line around the corner. The only mistakes I see him make are just not using as much road as available to use. And that mistake actually in these type of cars is a pretty big one to make. It's
costly, yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, you're tightening the radius of the corner, which is creating more scrub. You're not letting the car flow off the corner. You know, you really got to use every bit of everything that's out there. And Heinrichsey, you see him kicking up dust almost every corner at the exit, making sure he's driving the car all the way out there. And the corners that, you know.
Yep.
Now these are transitional corners one to the next, so you don't necessarily have to go to the far outside edge on these. Sometimes running through the middle is a shorter distance.
That's a very good point, yeah.
But see, on these kind of corners, he's out there. He'll be out there right here. He actually straightens his hands out.
Oh!
You know, he got over the top of the hill and took the steering out of the car and let the car go out there. There's no penalty to drop the wheel there.
Exactly.
On this type of car, anyway.
And if you straighten that wheel, like we did, as you said, that no scrub, you just run.
And the trick with these cars is to do minimum steering input. The least you turn the steering wheel, the better. And even though it sounds tricky, the manipulation of the car's weight can dictate how much you have to turn the steering wheel to make the same corner. You can turn it, say, 3 degrees, or you can turn it 10 degrees and get the same net effect. If you're using the weight of the car, 3 degrees is enough to get it to make that turn. And that's all the trickery stuff you learn. A guy like John Heinrichsey does know. Weight balancing the car, making the weight turn the car instead of the steering wheel.
So Chi-Ho's going to school right now, maybe. That'd be the wise thing, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. The steering wheel tells the car what you would like it to do. The weight of the vehicle makes it get there or not. You know, so that's all done with brake manipulation and throttle manipulation and so forth.
And Phillips looking at the times once again. Chi-Ho, and following Heinrichsey, you're absolutely right. He has now run together 3 consecutive mid-147s. And this last one was his fast lap of the race. So he is learning from Heinrichsey, and he has to because
John Phillips is there now.
Is there. There he is.
He's cut that distance in half from what it was before. And with 6 laps or so to go.
Yep. 5 when we cross the stripe here, this next lap, or finishing this lap, I should say.
That's definitely enough time to make a nuisance of oneself. Much better. Look at Ho that time.
Yep.
Drives it out to the outside edge.
And if you're a driver and you start doing that, following somebody of John's experience, you know right away whether it's working or not, because suddenly you've got 200 more revs here and 200 more revs here, and you're realizing, Heinrichs looked like he pushed it pretty hard there, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he overdrove that corner a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Had some scrub factor. You could hear the tires as well, which is the first indication that you're really leaning on him pretty hard.
Daugherty, gone.
Unbelievably gone.
Yeah, just putting on, this is a champion's type of performance, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, he knows the track really well. To get that kind of a gain and sustain it and just keep pulling away from everybody is pretty much unheard of.
Yeah. He just turned another by himself, 147.3.
He's class of the field for sure. He came, look at that, the whole straightaway to himself.
Yeah. And in a draft, nobody has been able to turn a 147.
You start wondering if they ended the race and somebody didn't tell you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where is everybody?
Is that the 09?
Not sure what that car is.
That's the Honda Fit. Yeah, that's 09 Rob Pekarczyk out of Brunswick, Ohio, in the Reddy Vodka and Kreider Racing Honda Fit. Looks very similar in its graphic package to the car that Brian Price drove in Pro World Challenge to a championship a couple of years ago.
He's been hiding out somewhere.
Exactly.
That's the first we've seen him.
Brian Price, that was the car that Price did win the championship with in Pro World Challenge and took to a bronze medal at Daytona last year. And Pekarczyk has picked that up out of Brunswick, Ohio. He's had a pretty good run.
Calvin Tam right there, and the 45 Fit.
Out of Long Beach, California.
That's a long tow for that car.
That is a long tow. But he's running in the national championships. That's pretty cool. This is a big learning opportunity for him as well here.
Probably first time here at Mid-Ohio, being out of that region. You sure wouldn't wander your way down here very often.
Absolutely. And behind him is Jason Huppenbecker, who had that off at turn 11 and speared in and whacked that barrier just a little bit, and has continued on. I believe, yep.
No damage except for the front fascia across the bumper, all missing.
Yeah.
So aerodynamically not quite pure, but
getting some good air in the engine.
Yep. I don't think that aerodynamics is the forte of these particular cars to begin with.
It's been an eventful race for Jason, but kudos to him for just saying, I'm here. Yep, I survived it. I'm going to keep pressing and go after it here.
He can go back over there and get his parts and glue them back on and be ready to go again.
Exactly. Looking at his times, and he's running a few seconds off the pace. That little bit of aero that the front end had, it's got to be hurting him a little bit down that back straight. And he has nobody to draft with.
Yeah, it definitely would hurt you down the straightaway.
Yeah.
Just having that big square radiator sticking out instead of the fascia out front of it.
Yeah, exactly. Then Ryan Hall, obviously, in the Mini. Very effective and fast early. Still has the fastest first two sector times turned during this race, but is parked in the pit lane, and Ted Saley having a problem right off the go here in the number 18. And he's a Cleveland, Ohio guy. The choice privileges, Montrose Mazda 2. Never completed that first lap, so he's had some issues. Meanwhile, Heinrichs, there's Chiho really opening that wheel up.
And John Phillips has not been able to catch Chiho since he's gone to driver's school with Heinrichs. He's picked up his time almost a second a lap.
It's impressive what he's been doing here. And what's interesting now is that he's not getting any benefit really from Heinrichs' toe, and he's still into the 147s consistently, which he was struggling to get into previously. So I think, this has been a master class for him that Heinrichs has taught.
It's all the subtleties. When you get to a class like this, it's so underpowered and so equal. It's just all the little things that make up a big difference at the end. And I'm sure in the case of Daugherty, he's doing the very same thing. I mean, those lap times he's laying down means he's spot on with one of his marks.
Yeah,
runs here a lot.
I mean, just watching it, his fast lap was a 47 flat, but for the last 10 laps at least, it's been 147, 4, 5, or 6. It's always been right within in that mark 10. For Daugherty.
Of course, there's no pressure on, so able to concentrate at 100%.
Boy, Phillips, though, starting to reel in now. He's turned a couple of laps, a few tenths quicker.
Running out of
than
time.
Chiho, yeah.
Got 3 laps to go. Chiho that time up on the curb, drops a wheel here, just about, yeah. He's learned.
He sure has. But Phillips.
Some of these curbs you can't get up on, like the one in turn 1, for instance. You can't get up on that curb without it shooting you across the racetrack. But these other corners, some of them, you can, like turn 9 back there. You see, you can definitely use that curbing. And that's probably the subtleties that he's picking up from John Heinrichs when John got in front. So this curb you can use. It doesn't bother you. But this one in turn 1, absolutely do not want to touch it.
2 laps to go. 2 to go. However, we just saw, I was wondering about that. I was looking at the time, and it's gone to a timed race, and the white flag is out. So we are on our final lap.
David Daugherty, half a lap to go now, just about. He can't even see another car around him, so he's probably willing to get out of the car now.
Exactly. Exactly. And he's just, he has been the model of consistency. I mean, that last lap, we were talking about it, a 147.6 even.
So he got his visor up in there. I would think right now the sun is in their eyes 3 times a lap. And because right now we're working on 5:15.
Yep. Up, in and through madness for the final time for David Daugherty, going for a 9th gold medal at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin Verb.
Multiple classes too, which says a lot for his driving.
Yeah, he's
been able to adapt to everything.
You look at the numbers. Obviously, Jerry Hansen is the all-time winner. Dwayne Davis and John Heinrichs tied for 2nd, but David Daugherty will tie Joe Huffaker for 3rd on the list with 9. So pretty amazing accomplishment as Daugherty onto the front straight, and it is done. Tied for 3rd in the all-time gold medal count. David Daugherty, gold medal number 9. And Dorsey, we've talked before about driver putting on a clinic. Daugherty just put on a doctoral thesis.
Yeah, that was amazing. Nobody expects for a car to run away from the field like that to that degree. But he did it, by golly, no doubt. And there's John Heinrichs. He comes through with his 2nd place. Chiho, good job for him in 3rd. Held back John Phillips, who didn't get to him.
Yep. So Heinrichs adds another medal to an amazing collection he's got, just not the gold. And then Chiho will add the 3rd place. So a good run for him. That was 2 spots better than he did last year at his first runoffs. So he's 2nd runoffs, 1st medal, not too bad for Chiho, with John Phillips 4th, and then a little bit farther back, Darren Seltzer and Rob Pikarczyk and Calvin Tam, and then of course Jason Hoopnecker with that damage on the number 23 Dynasty Automotive Honda Fit, but still bringing it home to a finish. And Daugherty, he's done this a lot of times here at Mid-Ohio.
I don't think he's ever won one to the degree he did today, though. That was quite phenomenal to have that kind of a lead at the runoffs in any class, not just a spec class. He's up on the rev limiter showing up.
Yeah, saluting the
Can't
workers.
Do a burnout.
Waving
power. He's going to need some bleach or something to accomplish that.
And Chiho coming up. And I think Chiho, now he has learned something. He's going to be fun to watch now next year, I think.
No doubt about that.
Be fun to see some of these guys come over and take a couple of runs at the Probably World Challenge B-Spec. There's not a whole lot of difference. It's a spec tire, obviously, that you run in the Pirelli World Challenge, but it's a good one, and come on over and play. I wonder, you know what, if the Pirelli World Challenge, and I think they do, I think if you win B-Spec at the runoffs, you might get a free weekend entry.
You do. I read that Pirelli put together a package along with some others that they will invite you to your race of choice, no entry fee, free, to compete in the Pirelli World Challenge in a pro category.
So
I think that's a great marketing tool.
I do too. So what that means is next year, before the season starts, we have a mud pit fight between Daugherty and O'Gorman to see who gets
Yeah,
the run.
that's the problem when you're sharing a car, I guess.
Exactly.
Thought about that.
This is going to be fun. David Daugherty making his way down, and he's such an exuberant guy, just generally. So fun, and like I said, I wouldn't guess with that lead he had, he may not have been giggling up through the S's and madness again on the run to the gold here. Boy, phenomenal race.
It's fun when you can take the pressure off and just go out there for an enjoyable drive. And that's exactly what he had.
Mr. Foss from Hoosier.
Yeah, congratulating David. Not his first time here.
David knew that was coming and welcomed it, of course. Yeah. And you know what? I said he put on a doctor's thesis, and he's looking kind of professorial there, isn't he? Let's get down to Jeff Lepper in here from our 9-time gold medalist, Jeff.
Well, here's some stats. David Daugherty, your 20th runoff start. You got 14 of them on the podium, 9 gold medals. You're tied for third all-time. You actually broke a sweat.
I did. We had a plan to go out and run really hard. We worked with Tim Gillen from Hoosier to come up with some great tires. Carbotech, the brakes were awesome. You could see I was just pulling people down at the end of the straightaway, just going in there really nicely. The car was awesome today.
Well, he earns his 9th gold medal. You see his teammate back there, those blue gases, Tom O'Gorman, going to take his victory lap. 9 times he's got a chance to do this. He'll do it again here today.
Yeah, how cool is that? And then this car makes the turnaround, and in 2 weeks might be able to take Tom O'Gorman to a championship in the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car division. That's Touring Car B-Spec division. That's pretty amazing stuff, Dose.
Yeah, it is, and you got to have fun, and that you can see right there that those guys are definitely going to have a good time tonight. They'll whoop it up.
Yeah, deservedly so.
There's John Heinrichsey right behind.
You hear a couple of
Daugherty there.
Cars in the background, and they're doing what are called hardship laps.
Yep. That's for guys who have had difficulties during the course of the day. And we run races back to back to back from 8 in the morning till almost 6 at night. So anytime they can get a lap, you got to give them a hardship lap.
All right. Well, we've talked about it. John Heinrichsey adding another medal to the collection. It's been an amazing career here. Let's get down to Jeff with our silver medalist. Excuse me. So used to saying gold medalist.
Yeah, after 13 gold medals, it's hard not to say gold medal. But silver medal, your 18th podium for you, John. Just a storied career for you. You're back here in the B-Spec category and a great race for you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun today. Didn't have anything for David, but still our Matic Chevy Sonic was going great. I can't thank Hawk, Hoosier. I mean, I stood on those brakes as hard as I could everywhere, and they just held up. The Hoosier tires held up great. And Mobil One Oil, I mean, I was pushing that engine for everything it was worth, and the transmission. The Mobil One Synthetic did a great job for me, so I was really happy with that. I want to thank Rob Bowen for the help he's been giving me this week, too.
Well, another second place for John Heinrichsey. Picked up his first ever third place gold medal in A Sedan this weekend. 2 podiums for John Heinrichsey.
You'd never guess the man's 68 years old, were you?
He just keeps it going, doesn't he?
That's phenomenal. Yep.
And we got a car full here. Got the door open on the passenger rear. That's where you pile them all in there.
Yep.
You only get to do it once.
There's got to be 3 of them jammed in there. Absolutely. Enjoying this lap of honor. That's impressive stuff. And, you know, Jeff, we were talking about it when Heinrichsey got in front of Chi-Ho. Suddenly, Chi-Ho in about 3 laps started picking up some speed. I think he may have gone to school. Good run to a bronze.
Well, Chi-Ho, you started on the front row, able to get a bronze medal in your second runoffs, but got a little clinic here for Mr. Heinrichsey, able to follow him and learn some stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely an honor to get to run against these 2 most awarded champions there is. And they're, like, really friendly on the pit as well, give me all the hints that I need to go faster. Unfortunately, I think my power plant is a little bit down, but I had the fastest tire on the grid, though. The BF Goodrich helped level things out a little bit. I want to thank HPD for all the support, Orica Gear, BF Goodrich, and Precision Dimension Inspections.
Well, his second runoffs, and I got to think there's going to be a lot more to come for this young man.
Oh, without a doubt, just watching what he was doing when he was letting Heinrichsey show him the way. He picked up on it in a big hurry, and I think we're going to see a lot more from Chi-Ho in the future as we take a look at our provisional results. You can see the medalist, Phillips. Boy, he had a eventful race, getting tagged in that first lap and fought his way back after that moment. Darren Seltzer he was there and then just lost a little bit of speed and dropped back. And, of course, Jason Hubenbecker with that off over in turn 11, Hall up on his side. Eventful day for B-Spec.
Yeah, it always is. It really is. I mean, it's a class that has tons of action throughout.
And always entertaining, no question about that. So, well, that wraps up day 2 here at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Garmin Verb back at Mid-Ohio, and it has lived up to the expectations, but it's only day 2 we're finishing with. That means tomorrow we have 9 more champions to crown, so make sure you come back starting at 8:30 in the morning with one of the fastest, if not the fastest here classes, Formula Atlantic. That all starts at 8:30 Eastern time here, so make sure you come back on behalf of Dorsey, on behalf of Rick Benjamin and Randy Popes, and of course Hayward and Jeff down in the pits. Thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.